Brilliant. So again, thank you for coming to the College of Arts and Science Study Abroad information session. This session is basically going to go over a few things about study abroad for those who are not really sure what that is, those who just want to get a little bit more, and those who really want to plan to go and do this now that we can safely do so, hopefully, going forward. So as introductions, my name is Lavina Watts, and I am the Manager of Study Abroad here in the College of Arts and Science. A quick overview of what I do, and then I'll let Banjo jump in to introduce himself. What I do mainly is I'm administrating the study abroad programs here in the college. I work with faculty on the creation of them and the implementation of them. I also work with the faculty and students on risk management and safety while they're abroad and before the planning beforehand. And then I also work with the travel and awards and scholarships that we have here in the college. Banjo, did you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Sure. I'm not sure if my video is working or not, but my name is Banjo. Oh, okay. I can't see myself. Okay, my name is Banjo. I'm an academic advisor, and I work hand in hand with Lavina. What I do mostly is to ensure that whatever courses you take abroad would work towards your degree. So I am in charge of evaluating courses for transfer credit and to be sure that whatever, I'm working in your best interest to get the maximum number of credits out of your experience abroad.
Perfect. I couldn't say that. Well done. So to go right into it. So generally you don't normally start a presentation with questions, but I'm going to because I want students to jump in, go through the chat, put something in there that you're not sure about, you want me to go over. But generally these are the things that students have in the past asked me. Basically, who can go abroad? Am I even eligible to go abroad? Is it expensive? How long can I go? Why should I even think about going is a big one. And that I will absolutely get into for you. So we're going to help try answer all these questions and more. Again, just shout it out if you think of anything. So the question, why should I go abroad? People do this for a variety of reasons. Here are just some of the things the students have said. And in my research on why people might want to do this is number one is always, I want to see the world. And why not? Go for it. Others are for just their education, but really career opportunities come out of this quite a lot. And you would be surprised at how much an employer is actually looking to see this type of experience. Other people want to do this to take in a new culture, personal development. Another one I'm going to touch on a little bit later is gaining new skills within your discipline. These are things that are kind of crucial when you're going, depending on the degree that you're looking to do. Some of them, you need to get a hands-on experience. So some of the programs we have in the college actually have embedded these taught abroad or international experiences within the program itself. Another one is networking. So you might be in a field that may be popular around the world, but it might still be a very small community. So you're going to be networking with people and talking with them everywhere you go, whether you're in undergraduate research, if you go into graduate school, going into the career itself, maybe you go into academia. This is a really good reason to go abroad or to get a global experience so you can help with networking. Graduate school admissions, that is a big key one too. They want to see that sometimes, depending on what you're doing, of course, and generally life experience. So as I've mentioned, it looks good on a resume. So this is going to help with your career goals, depending on what they are, especially now in the last 19 months or so, we've noticed that our world has gotten a little smaller. It's a lot more globalized. Employers have told us and our career center here on campus that having an international experience is valuable. How would that set you apart? Is if you're going for the same job and you're sitting in the waiting room with another person who's also graduated from the University of Saskatchewan with a geology degree, what are they going to see on your resume that's going to set you apart? It might be the fact that you have that experience that others may not have. So you might want to think about that. It just enhances your career goals. It also enhances your degree. So if you're thinking of being an English major, for example, as on the screen, you might want to be a journalist. So why not enhance that experience by taking a photography course in Rome or a language course? That way you're immersed in the experience and understand a little bit better what you're writing about. Computer science majors, we have been told that there are 3D printing courses in Japan through our partner universities. We may not have that course here, so taking it somewhere else that actually adds to your degree with transfer credits, and that's where Banjo comes in to help you with that, may actually enhance what you're learning here, not to replace, but just to add to. And regional urban planning students, we have a course that goes to Copenhagen. So why not learn about the actual most pedestrian friendly place on the planet? Learn how they built that city structure while you're actually there. So these are things that will just really enhance what you're doing while you're here now. When we talk about study abroad, is actually, most people think we're talking about exchange, which is not necessarily true. A better word would be education abroad, because in study abroad, there's so many different options. So here are just some of them. We have taught abroad experiences, which are faculty-led classes abroad where you and your entire class go. We have term abroad classes where they're similar to an exchange, but you actually register in the class here in arts and science, and then you go abroad and take the program or the courses there. There are no transfer credits. We get your grades and then we upload them here. Exchange is what the traditional theory behind study abroad, where you go for a full term or a full year. You work with Banjo before you go to see what courses you could take while you're at that university, and then those credits may transfer over here. Summer programs are kind of like mini exchanges where they're shorter term ones and they're done in the summer. I should also mention the taught abroad courses are generally all done in the spring and summer. There is one going in September, but I'll let you know about that one. Internships, international internships, visiting students, where that counts if we have students who want to go to a country or a university where we don't have a partnership agreement. You can still go. You need to apply here at our college to be a visiting student, and then you can go, but you still have to work with our undergraduate student office, which is very helpful. And the college knows that having an international experience is very valuable and is a valuable tool as students plan their career. So exposures to new cultures, gaining global experiences, new languages are all marketable for future employment. And as I mentioned, looks great on a resume, if that's important to you. We also found that the two most common barriers students find to going abroad are costs and transfer credits. The college has heard this, and we have worked very, very hard over the last while to help alleviate these obstacles. And I'll get into a little bit later how we're doing that. But for some people, those are not the obstacles. It's the fear of going somewhere they haven't been, or going without friends or without family, or they have commitments, jobs, family commitments here, which won't allow them to go in for longer periods of time, which is why all those options on the screen are beneficial to many because some are those shorter term ones. Faculty-led ones are anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. So they can fit if you can't go for a full term. So here's a little bit more about what our faculty-led taught abroads look like. So they're, like I said, they're short term. They are anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, generally from anywhere from May to August. And here's a list of some of the ones we're planning for this coming spring and summer. All fingers crossed that everything will work out as we hope and everyone will be able to travel again safely. We have a new course that's going to Rome. It's a history class. The vision of empire, architecture, and power in ancient Rome and fascist Italy. This one's a very exciting one that's going to be led by Angela Kalinowski and our newest professor, Alessio Ponzio. We also have our South Africa class, which is also a history class that goes to Johannesburg and area. This one is actually 5 weeks long. The Rome one is just about 3 weeks long, both of which are worth 6 credit units. The geology students will have an opportunity to go to Montana and to Spain. Spain will be, I believe, in late August, and Montana's planning to go in May for actual hands-on experience. And then in the past, we've gone all over the world with these courses and classes. We've gone to Japan, we've gone to London, we've gone to New York, Prague. These are just a few that we've gone to just below. The Geneva one, I should have put that on the upper one, where physics students will actually go to CERN and work on a project there, which is really exciting. It's so brand new. We haven't actually been able to send students yet because it was just about to be implemented before we all got shut down. But it's also one you should think about. A lot of these courses that go abroad, you don't need to be a major in that location. Sorry, go ahead, Benjo.
Question in the chat box: is there something for biomedical science degree? For biomedical science credits for study abroad.
Okay, we are actually.
Yeah, I was for people majoring in biomedical science.
So for biomedical sciences degrees this year, no, only because the faculty members who lead them haven't been able to get their courses into us yet. I have been discussing biomedical science courses abroad with the instructors there. So they are looking to do this. They just haven't had one created yet. And the Copenhagen trip, unfortunately, I saw that in the chat as well, that won't be going ahead only because, you're very welcome, only because the department itself had to focus on other courses and was only allowed to offer so many. Any other questions before I go on?
Prerequisites for history 4.3. Yeah.
Generally, the prereqs are sometimes you need 6 or 12 credit units in that major, but most of them will say on permission of the instructor. So you might want to have a history class to take the history program, or you might need to be a geology major to take the Spain class, for example, because what they're doing might not be interesting to anybody else but geology students. But we've had courses, the Indigenous Studies class, I went to Australia, it wasn't only open to Indigenous Studies students. In fact, more than 75% of the students that went were not majors of that department. And they didn't have prereqs. So it was on permission of the instructor. So there's lots of options for you. I should also back up and say any student who wants to go abroad there are two eligibility requirements here in our College of Arts and Science. You have to have 30 credit units completed by the time you depart, as well as a 65% average. This is another one of those ways College of Arts and Science has tried to eliminate these barriers, because the rest of the university needs 70% average and 45 credit units. So there, our dean is looking out for you all. Are there more?
There are more questions. One is about psychology. Is there anything for psychology students? Is there anything for English students? I'll say yes to both, but it might not be in terms of thought abroad. It could be in form of exchange program or even the summer abroad programs. But yes, there are definitely courses that you can take abroad.
Yes, yes, thank you, Banjo. There, for the faculty-led ones, in those two categories, we don't have one, but you can still, as a psychology student, go on the Rome class or the South Africa class or the Indigenous Studies class, political studies. You don't have, again, you don't have to be a major, you just have to be eligible to go anywhere. The exchange courses, like Banjo was saying, or the summer programs, you can actually take a psychology class in Germany, which is, I'm actually working with our psychology department to create something in Germany and in London for psychology.
There's a question about housing.
Housing, yes. So some of the locations that I'm going to talk about include housing, where generally the exchange, where you go for the full term or one term, housing is up to you to find, although all of our international partners have an international student study abroad office or international office very similar to ours that will work with you and help you find suitable accommodations while you're there. But that is also a separate cost. Okay. Okay. First year students cannot go abroad, only because you need to have 30 credit units first, but to be eligible to go. We've had second year students go abroad on a 400 level class on permission of the instructor. Okay, I'm just going to go to the next slide to give you a little bit more idea about what term abroad programs are. So our term abroad ones are classes that are listed here, programs, pardon me, that are 15 credit units for the entire term, although the Spanish one in Guadalajara, Mexico is only 10 weeks long, but it's still 15 credit units. There you're going to be, it's an intensive language class. So you have the prereqs are 2 100 level Spanish classes here in Arts and Science, and then you go to Mexico and learn the language while you're absolutely immersed. The program fee for the Spanish term abroad includes 3 meals a day, includes your accommodations, and it includes the travel to and from the airport. This is a really, really good program. I highly recommend this one. The cost is about, you pay your tuition here, and then it's about another $4,000 on top of that. But I always put a big but in there. We also, as I'll get into another slide, we give you quite a lot of scholarship funding in order to be able to do this program or any of the ones I'm talking about. So by the time you're finished getting all the funding from us, it may only be about $500 in additionally, on $500 on top of your tuition. And Marburg, Germany, again, is an intensive language one. You need some German here or German experience. If you've taken German in high school and are fluent, you can take, this one is 5 months long. It also includes your accommodations in the program fee. Both the Spanish and the German one include excursions too. So they will take you to places. You also are living in Marburg in an international student accommodations. So you're going to be with other students that are similar to you. So you're not going to be sitting in a classroom with native Germans who are speaking things you don't know what they're talking about. So you're actually learning together. I should also mention the Spanish one is in our homestay. So you actually stay with a family that are very like walking distance to the university. And we've been working with them for decades. So it's been a really great program. The Washington Center program is one of those one in a lifetime types where you get experience that you just are not going to get anywhere else. You will work with NGOs, you will work with human rights lawyers on Capitol Hill. You will gain experience that you just can't do elsewhere. Those ones are also 15 credit units unless you take the summer one, which is 9 credit units. I won't lie, that is a very expensive program. But again, we do have a lot of funding to offer students who are accepted to that program. So before I go on, does anyone have a question? Oh, the trip to Rome, that one is being planned to go in July, I believe, June, July. Actually, I think it's June because it gets too hot in July. So if you're wondering more about exchange, so we have over 200 international partnership universities around the world. And every one of these little purple dots indicates a university somewhere that we have an agreement with. So if you're curious about where you want to go, I can provide this link to you. It's also, all you have to do is go type in exchange at usas.ca and you'll find it there too. You can search by country. You can go to the text box and say English speaking countries or whatever major you're looking at. And you'll be able to find one that suits you. Most people think I want to go to a country, so they just go look at that country. But I encourage you to look at all of the others as well, because if a language is a barrier, if you don't have a second language, a lot of the places abroad don't offer in English as well. So you can go to China, Korea, Japan, Germany, and take English taught courses for credit. For exchange programs, it's very simple. You pay your 15 credit unit tuition here at the University of Saskatchewan, and you go abroad and you take the courses there. So you're not paying tuition twice, but you pay tuition here to maintain your residency. You may end up paying student fees, like we have student fees here, but you will also be on your own to pay for flights, accommodations, and arrange for them yourselves. But again, we can assist you in how to do that. So the process and the deadlines, very, very easy. Both you can apply online. The taught and term abroad programs are managed through the Arts and Science College. Taught abroad deadline is February 1st. Any term abroads for the following winter is April 15th. And for exchange, February 1st is also the deadline for those who want to go on exchange in the fall or for the full year exchange. September 15th, I believe. You may have changed that, I'm not sure. Is it still?
Yeah.
Good.
It's still
September 15th is for if you want to go in the winter term. And here are the travel awards and scholarships that I was just briefly touching on. So Arts and Science has many donor funded awards. We give out about $35,000 to $50,000 a year per year to arts and science students who are eligible to go. And our dean has been working very hard over the past, 2 years for sure, even during COVID, to speak to our donors and have created a couple more travel awards that I actually don't have the names for, but that's why number 5 says and more. But the university also has quite a number of them. So this one I want to highlight, the Global Engagement Scholarship, is a really important one because it goes to any student who has been accepted to a study abroad or any international course for credit. So you will be guaranteed $1,000. All you need to do is apply, but the only eligibility requirement is the fact that you have already been accepted. So we also have the Indigenous Student Travel Award. It's fairly new. It's anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. And what I'd like to share is that even if you're not sure if you're going to be eligible for some of these awards, just apply. Some people think that and they go unspent. And it's really, really sad to see. So I encourage everybody to apply. We also have another one we can't quite publicly announce yet, so it's not written down anywhere, but we have been awarded a government grant from Universities Canada to give funding to students who are normally considered underrepresented. So for Indigenous students, for students with disabilities, for students who are low income, there's going to be up to $10,000 per student given out annually for those who qualify. So that one is really, really exciting. We have about $500,000 over the next 4 years to give out. And I'm absolutely pumped about that one. So look out for through PAWS and through College of Arts and Science. We will be announcing it publicly very, very soon. But it's just yet another way to get students to get this experience that we find so, so important. And here's just a couple pictures from students from some of the trips they've gone on, some on safari in South Africa, in Tokyo. You might meet someone famous in London. Actually hands-on experience in China and geology, went to Spain. So the possibilities are very, very endless here. So hopefully I answered quite a bit of your questions. If I didn't, just throw them out there in the chat and we'll get to them.
There's a question. If a student is currently completing 30 credit units, can they still apply to go next step?
Yes, as long as you are completed your 30 credit units before you depart. So your first year students, if you're taking a full course load, which is 5 classes per term, you can apply at the February 1st deadline. It's a little riskier only because if you don't get that 30 credit units before you leave, and you won't know that until April, you may lose a non-refundable deposit. So I do recommend maybe the year after, but it doesn't mean no. The Rome program, yes, a lot of the faculty-led ones are done every other year or when the instructor is available. So the fact that there's 2 instructors for this one, it may actually go annually. They apply to go a year in advance. So I'll know by March what programs are going to go the following year. So hopefully the Italy one will go, but it has run for, I don't know, 6 years or 6 trips over the last 12 years for sure. The Copenhagen trip. No, we had planned the Copenhagen trip for the planning students or any student who wants to go. It was planned and then it was canceled, and then it was planned. It was canceled because we didn't have enough students. So we redid the program, made it for 2 weeks, full 2 weeks. And then while we actually had students ready to go, then we had to shut it down because of COVID. So will it be offered ever again? Yes. Just this year in 2022, it wasn't going to be offered because of the department wasn't able to do so this year. Oh, I missed a few here.
So there's a question about French. There's another one about term abroad for Germany. When would that be?
The term abroad ones, so the one in Mexico, Germany, and Washington Center, they're offered every single year, every every term. So, well, every winter term for the Mexico and Germany. So those ones will always be offered. We've actually just renewed the contracts with those locations. So we know for at least the next 10 years, we'll be offering the Marburg, Germany. And will there be upcoming exchanges for French, similar to Spanish and German? Yes, actually, we are looking into that. We were looking at one through the MECEFA program in Paris, where you, again, same principle, you would take your introductory courses here, and then you go there and learn the intensive language courses there. And so we are looking at finalizing. There is a program you can actually apply for now. It's through the exchange version of, so not the courses, the term abroad ones where you actually register as an arts and science student, then go abroad. It's the traditional exchange, but you can go on the exchange website and find out more about that one.
There's a question about Copenhagen. They want to know when that would be offered next.
Oh, we're hoping 2023.
Okay.
Fingers
and then there's another question about Rome. They thought abroad for Rome. Will it be offered in 2023?
For Rome? Rome will be going hopefully this year, and it might, if it doesn't, it'll go in 2023. But if it does, it'll go 2022, hopefully in 2024. Or if I can convince them to do it annually, I'm working on that. But usually that one's only every other year.
I think
Very,
that's
very
pretty
welcome.
much. Yeah.
Is any other questions? If not, you are welcome to email me. I'm at the lavina.watts@usask, or the arts and science email address, which is very long. I will put it in the chat for you though.
Will you be emailing this recording?
Pardon me?
They're asking if you're going to be emailing the recording to them.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to email it, but I was going to post it to the Arts and Science Study Abroad website. Perfect, even with all my ums and actuallys. Yes, it only has information for 2021, as we are just finalizing the posters and the materials for 2022. So stay tuned. Those new courses that I mentioned at the beginning will be there. So these ones here will be on our new website, and the links and how to apply. Oh, you're very, very welcome. I'm hoping to see everybody go abroad. So, and you're welcome to email me here. I'm happy to chat by video, email, whatever you need. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming, and I will stop sharing. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, Banjo, for all your help.
Thank you, Lavina.
Hey, bye.